very special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
Very special day. We do have a terrific Thursday. That means my partners in crimes, my co-host, but my guest this morning, all of the above, is Dennis and Autumn. Good morning from Celebrity Home Loans. Yay!
Yay! Good morning. How's everybody today?
Dennis Baxter and I just went blank. Autumn Hall. There we go. Yes, that's right. Okay.
I'm kind of used to it because everybody remembers my husband. I'm just forgettable.
Oh, that's not true. No,
that's true. Like I'm just forgettable. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're Red's wife."
Yeah. No, that's not true. No. There's nobody going to forget you. All right, and I'm not going to forget our sponsors this morning. I want to thank our sponsors: Walmart, Bayview Healthcare Center, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Kentucky and Cat and Corn, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, and Fox Burley Wealth Management. And in the house this morning, Celebrity Home Loans. And good morning, everyone. We're going to find all kinds of good information. Grab your pens, papers. We're going to get you some good knowledge today. And for those that listen, and listen well, and we didn't come up with a question, but we'll have to come up with something good. We're going to ask a question, and remember, we won't make it too hard. You could win Colts tickets for tonight's game. So they play the Jets, and it'll be a lot of fun. When you go to the Colts game, it's always fun to bring the noise, have fun.
Yeah.
And
I love that we're doing it in person again.
Yeah.
Love it.
I do too. Me too. All right, today is the 4th of November. Today is International Project Management Day. Okay.
Oh, man.
Project I'd be good to manage projects nationally, office-wise, let alone internationally.
This is International King Tut Day. That's a fun fact about me. I love a king tut. And
really?
When I was little, my uncle was on the board in Chicago of the museum, and they had the King Tut exhibit, which is a huge, huge exhibit, and I fell in love. So I have got a 8-foot King Tut at my house. Yes, and when it came,
I'm not surprised.
It's kind of a funny thing. When they delivered it, it was in a box, and it was delivered to Kimball, and they said Becky White has ordered a coffin, and I was.
You can never be too prepared.
No. So anyway, fun fact about King Tut, I have a special place in my heart for King Tut.
Wow, that's great.
Like more information than you want to know, right?
I love odd things like that.
He didn't really fit in with my decorations, but he's there. He's okay.
He fit then.
Yeah.
He fit.
Yeah, I make him work. National Candy Day. I think we've talked about this before, but did you guys get enough candy Halloween?
Too much.
So my daughter's candy is gone. I know this morning. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
She hit it hard, or did she take it to school?
No, she hit it. Well, I had my niece all week so far, so I think they sat in there and ate it all. It's gone. And it was funny because my 5-year-old this morning saw it and goes, oh, Kenley's candy's gone.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Like it was the worst thing in the world. And
Yeah.
I kind of mixed feelings because now it's like, well, now it's done.
Now it's
Done,
done.
so
I
what?
know. You were at least hoping you'd get a little bit through November more, right?
The sugar high's over. Then get on with life.
Now I just have to make sure she doesn't try to take theirs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's the
Sneaky daughter.
Yeah.
Sneaky
candy
kid.
day.
Hey, all fair and love and candy or something like that.
Yes.
All right, today is National Chicken Lady Day. National
lady.
Chicken Lady Day. It's got like chicken wings. I don't know if that's called Chicken Lady. I've never heard of
It's
it.
kind of
wow.
like Chicken Little.
There
I
you
wish
go.
KFC
Lady
still
Little.
had Chicken Littles.
National Easy Bake Oven Day. Autumn, did you have one?
I did not.
Oh, I did. I so did.
I did not have an easy bake oven.
I did. Oh, I remember so excited. You know, it's got like the light bulb, and you're baking that, cake, you're watching it rise. It takes forever. You know, yeah.
Takes
Dennis,
forever.
did you ever have an easy bake oven?
No, I don't think so. They didn't make him a G.I. Joe my day.
Did you have girls? Did your girls?
Oh, it's Dennis.
Yeah, I think maybe they did.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
that would have
making
been
me
around the
think
time
back.
of your daughters.
Yeah,
Easy bake
probably.
oven.
They
Yeah.
probably did.
Yeah. National Men Make Dinner Day. Dennis, you ever make dinner?
All the time.
Love
Used
that.
to.
Love
Used
that.
to all the
What's your
time.
specialty? If Autumn and I were coming over, what would you fix for us?
Oh man, probably my homemade spaghetti, pizza.
Mm.
I did, but I'm one of those cooks that
pizza.
I just start grabbing stuff and start throwing it in. I never follow recipes. My wife, she'll follow a recipe to a T, and she won't let me in the kitchen because of that. 'Cause I just start grabbing and throwing it in.
I love that.
She goes, well, how do you know that'll work? We'll find out.
We'll find out. Now, do you make your own pie or your own dough for
Yes,
your pizza?
absolutely.
Oh, homemade dough?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Get out.
No, it's easy to do.
That's very impressive. Very impressive. So, Autumn, to put your husband on the spot, does he cook dinner ever?
He's a grill master.
Oh, yeah, you did
Oh,
say that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Justin. But he doesn't do a lot of dinner. He's the breakfast cooker. So
Like eggs, bacon.
biscuits and gravy.
Oh, have mercy.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Is he
like
making homemade biscuits?
no.
Oh, come on.
Oh, all right. I'm not judging. I'm not.
He probably could.
Oh, well, I'll
honestly, it's
I did.
Dennis is
challenge
There you
judging.
go. There you
He
go.
probably could. We just because of time. But yeah, Dad's biscuits and gravy is
His gravy is.
his gravy is on point. Yeah,
Wow.
that is homemade.
And that's hard to do. That's a good
Yeah.
difficulty
It's
getting there.
tough to do, yes.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, Justin does cook though.
I need to teach him how to make drop biscuits. That's quick and easy.
I'm sure he probably does.
That would
Could.
be easy for him to do while he's doing that.
Yeah,
That'd be
probably. I
First
might.
make
I
it
might
go
throw
on
that
over
out
there.
there.
There you go.
But he
Whip it up.
does. Drop
On the
it.
pan,
Dennis
little
does
drops
cook.
and go out. Throw it in the oven and it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so he does, but he's a grill master. So if he's gonna cook dinner, it's gonna be on the smoker or the grill.
Love that. Yeah.
Me too, because then I don't
Yeah.
have dishes.
There you go. I love
There you
that
go.
even more so. National Skeptics Day.
You can't be skeptic in our
Nope.
business.
Absolutely not.
Or you can be of every little thing.
Oh man, you never get them done.
That's exactly right. Use your common sense day.
Do we have common?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a
we're at the
superpower.
door.
We're lacking that a little bit, I feel like.
Isn't it a superpower anymore? I think it is. I think more so. Yeah.
But you know, here's what I've found. I'm gonna throw this out there.
All
and
right,
I might
love
get
that. Throw it out there.
crucified
Nope,
later. I have found that if you are super book smart,
Right.
maybe you don't have as much common sense.
Mm.
And if you have common sense, maybe you're not as book smart. And so I think that leeways into the fact that you cannot judge intelligence by one overall thing.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah. Putting a lot of things together.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is deep. This
It
morning.
is deep.
I can't argue with you
Yeah.
though. That's the
I
problem.
do, but I'm a firm believer, and this is the way I was raised. If you don't understand, ask.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with a question. You know what I mean? And
Oh, I believe
that's how
that.
you learn. You know what I mean?
Well, I've always said when people say, "Well, this is probably a dumb question," but, you know,
No.
the only dumb question is the question that doesn't get asked.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, and I think, too, just like book smart can be taught, I think common sense can be taught. I do believe that.
No,
I
No.
do.
I almost spit out my coffee.
no.
To a degree.
Bickersons love that.
I do. Because
Okay.
we're working with my oldest on that. Like, he's super book smart. He's super smart.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes he lacks common sense. And so, like, I think taking that time of being like, okay, stop. Think this through.
Yeah.
What makes sense here? Like, what do you think? Because sometimes I think when you're super smart, your brain goes so fast you don't have time for that.
Yeah. Do you think also too that we've got so much information overload that it's sometimes hard to realize? I mean, just like like maybe you would have followed your gut feeling years ago, and then now like we question everything because everything's so much overload.
Yeah.
Do you feel that ever?
I think we've kind of lost how to listen to our gut.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
Between that and learn how to think for yourself and process thoughts and ideas. With all the games and all the kids are doing, they never learn. They never learn this. I mean, I come from the historic, the prehistoric
He's
ages,
the
pretty much.
prehistoric. Dennis is roaring like a dinosaur.
You see the cartoons on Facebook and all. I was one of those that, after breakfast I was kicked out the door, and it was like, be home for supper before dark.
That's child abuse now.
They never,
But it's actually, get out and play, get out.
Yeah,
and move our body. We just had
stuff.
a trainer on yesterday from Salem. Get out and move.
Yes.
That's important to do. And a lot of times we don't do that.
Oh, the older you get, that's more important that is. I'm right there. I just like it's good old years. I don't know who come up with the phrase, but they were wrong because it hurts every morning when I get up. It's not good.
Well, anyway, so good things, good food for thought for sure. I do want to kind of go over. Yes, tonight we do have the Colts game. We'll be carrying the game. They play the Jets. Pre-game at 7:20, games at 8:20. So for those that want to win the tickets, remember, listen in. It might be late for some people, but put on a pot or grab a cup of coffee on the way home. So also the West Washington Lady Senators will be at Clarksville tonight. Indianapolis Greyhounds will be at Purdue men's basketball at 7 p.m. For Friday, Eastern Lady Musketeers at Borden, and Pacers will be playing the Trailblazers at 10. We have Michigan State football at Purdue at 3:30 on Saturday. IU football at Michigan. Don't get Michigan State and Michigan confused. It's very confusing.
That upsets them.
At 7:30, I know. And of course, the Southern Lady Lions will be at Seymour at 7:30, and Eastern Lady Musketeers at Crawford County at 7:30, and West Washington Lady Senators at Lincoln Stockton at 7:30. So, and then the Pacers versus the Kings on Sunday, November the 7th. So, you said you had nothing to do. We'll change that real quick, right? There's always something.
Friday they are having a soup dinner before the game.
Exactly. That's Salem High School Lions Helping Lions. It's benefit soup dinner. Saturday, November the 6th at 5:30 at the Salem High School cafeteria. Donations only. And I love soups.
And I love not cooking.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Yes. And all proceeds will go to Derek Smith, Salem High School teacher, Marjorie Ellett, Salem High School instructional assistant, and Connor Anderson, Salem High School senior. This is a donation-only soup dinner. So, and it's sponsored. I love this. It's sponsored by the kids, the Salem High School Student Council, Salem High School National Honor Society, Salem High School FFA, and Salem High School cheerleaders. So
Awesome.
I love the groups coming together and acknowledging that. That's awesome.
Well, and it even speaks of the impact those, Mr. Smith has, and
absolutely.
the other two, the impact that they have, that they want to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that, because sometimes teens get a lot of flack.
I know, we have good teams.
We do.
And, it takes, how many negatives to outweigh that positive. And it's sad because we do have a lot of positives. We got a lot of great kids, and I really like to showcase that, and for them all to come together and help out. So, and all of their moms, aunts, uncles, grandmas are getting ready to make soups.
Yeah.
So
we have to have a safety
shout out
for that.
in the kitchen. I mean, that's when you're cooking a lot of soup and making for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So
I hope they have a wonderful turnout.
I do too.
They should.
I do.
I do too. Yeah. I think.
And it's soup season.
I know.
I'm so excited about
I know.
soup season.
Yeah.
I decided I'm making Sunday soup Sunday.
Are you?
Soup
What are you
Sunday.
making? What kind
Well,
of
this Sunday I'm thinking about doing potato soup,
Oh, you can't go wrong.
and then I'm gonna do
Nice,
taco soup.
thick
Oh.
potato soup. Oh.
Yeah. So I figure I've got all of November figured. Potato soup, taco soup.
You planned out the meals?
I do
You
plan
don't
out
normally
now.
do that.
I am trying to change.
Well,
I have
She's
cooked.
going through a change.
Listen, I have cooked every night this week, and that's
Oh,
big because
awesome.
we're usually so busy. Like we've been trying to get away from like the drive-through,
Yeah.
and just, not that. Hey,
No, it's
I love me some drive-through, but
No.
my waistline does not. So I've been trying to cook and menu plan, and my menu has been changed every night this week. But that's okay because now I have next week's menu.
Oh,
Like that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I did chili last night.
Oh,
Justin wanted chili,
can't
Oh,
go
man.
wrong with
It's good.
Oh, it's
Love
great.
chili.
and so I had to run to 3 different stores because I forgot things.
No shame in your game.
And
And
that's-
but you got it.
I got it.
You fed your family. That's all that matters.
So then I was like, well, while I'm here, I'm going to pick up this bag of potatoes because I'm going to make potato soup.
What time supper Sunday?
Yeah.
He's doing all day. Football Sunday, we eat about 6. Come on over.
All right.
Well, you
Bring
know,
Janet.
it is a the habit we're getting back into the eating at home,
Yeah.
because it can be in a habit of going through the drive-through because it's so convenient, so handy.
Well, it drives my kids nuts. We always make a habit of sitting, like even if we go through the drive-through, like it comes home and we sit at the dinner table. Like that is something dinner's a big thing for us.
Love
Even
that.
if it's 20 minutes, like you're going to sit down, you're going to tell us about our day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's my pet peeve too, and it's funny because when you go to the drive-through and you have the bag, I keep the bag closed until we get home.
So you don't smell it?
No, I don't. And we have a big, this was a big discussion because I'm with you. We always sit down and with our house supper. We have our supper
Yeah.
and we have everybody talk and just no matter what, right? Well, I had my husband would grab fries because they're fresh and hot and he wants them then. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because cold
And-
fries are gross.
Yeah, so we had this big discussion that this is when you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in mine, no, just keep it sealed or keep it closed. It'll make it. You know what I mean? So we had this big discussion because of you want to go and eat the fries now. You know what I mean? But
It's not fun.
Yeah,
I
but
will-
I'm with you. I don't want it to eat. I mean, don't get me wrong. We eat in my vehicle, but
Right.
I'd rather eat separate at the table.
Okay.
If I can go home, if we can grab it and go home, let's do that. Air fryers, though, thank God for the creation of
Oh,
air
yeah.
fryers. You can reheat fries and they
Did not
taste
know
great.
that.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because fries are not something you reheat. Like, they're
No,
just not.
I don't care how many times you microwave them.
No, but the air fryer, yes, you can throw them in there.
Try that.
Marie Lowry, which was a dear friend, and the late Marie Lowry. She was wonderful, part of our community, and that was something she always was concerned in because she had McDonald's. She owned
Right.
McDonald's. She would donate food, but she didn't want to donate French fries because if they were not hot,
They're
They
not
weren't
good.
good.
and she didn't ever want anybody saying something where they weren't as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so she always wanted to give gift cards or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you come get them and get them hot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was her,
hot and fresh.
yes, that was her, like, because I never, she always explained, I don't want to bring fries somewhere and then them be cold.
Because there's nothing worse.
Well, you just don't want to, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
there's nothing worse than cold
Right.
fries.
So she was very particular, if you will, on that.
Yeah.
And I love that, yeah.
Well, she cared.
She did. Oh, beyond. Yeah, and the things she did for the community was wonderful. Yeah.
But yeah, air fryer. Air fryer
Did
cold
not know
fries.
that. Okay, good.
I'm gonna have to try that one.
All right. Well, we're going to get some good information here, and remember, this is on the line for some Colts tickets tonight. If you'd like to win some Colts tickets here, we're going to be giving them away here on Coffee Club this morning. It's a $400 value to go see the Colts, and it is a late night. Just put on a pot of coffee, and so you watch a Colts game, and you come home, and you'll be probably home before midnight.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just call in the next day.
Or, just,
call it.
take the walk of shame, walk in with your clothes, the same clothes on. Didn't you wear that yesterday? Yeah,
Don't
but I
judge
went to a
me.
Colts game, you know what I mean? Show the foam finger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got the foam finger. Or the coat, or the horse hat. I have
Yes.
the horse hat too. I have
right.
to have it all. I love it. Sorry.
I've actually never been to a Colts game in person.
Oh, they're so much fun. They're
I'd
so
love
much
to
fun.
go.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Well, then call in with the answer here.
Becky already said it.
Run the other room, yeah. So we're going to be doing that. So listen to our words. We won't make the question hard, I promise. We don't ask any hard questions here on Coffee Club because we know it's morning time. So let's jump in. We're going to talk about, we're coming up right now on taxes.
Yes.
And I think we're going to talk a little bit about that. And this is good information. And Autumn, you and I talked a little bit yesterday about this, and Dennis, you and I have talked about this before. This information normally would be like a something you would go like in what I'm trying to say, a meeting, not a meeting, but a seminar and pay for. So this
Yes.
Seminar sounds fancy.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it would
I
be
like
a seminar that. No, I mean
Coffee
I
Club
have gone
seminar.
to seminars that you've gone to and sat and you had to pay for to get this information.
Yeah.
So this is really a blessing that we're able to give this on Coffee Club this morning, and hopefully it'll help someone along the way there. So let's talk about taxes and let's go from there.
Property taxes are due May and November 10th. So your taxes are due next week.
Right. And we've been paying taxes for, that was, remember the Bethlehem, remember they went to
Yes.
So taxes have been a part of our
life forever.
Yeah.
Been part of the world. Yeah.
I don't think they're going away.
Yeah.
No.
So if it's tax month, like Autumn was saying, November and May, and for property taxes. So if you don't have it included in your mortgage payment, you got to remember to do that. That's just one of the parts of life. If you have it in your mortgage payment, which is my preference for everybody, then you don't have to worry about this month because it's taken care of by the lender. You've already paid a little bit every month.
And I think that's important for budgeting.
It's very important.
Like,
makes your life easier.
I just wrote a check for, and although also property taxes are public records, so I just wrote my $647 check this week to go pay them because I'm not escrow.
My wife needs to talk to you about it. She made me pay ours 2 weeks ago.
I went early. I was early. I beat the crowds. But if you go on the 10th, you're going to stand in line at the courthouse for at least 45 minutes, 35 to 45 minutes. It's crazy. So I always go early. But what people don't realize, property taxes actually, I don't want to say override, but they actually have like a higher place on your mortgage. So if you don't pay your property taxes for 3 months or 3 installments, so a year and a half, then it goes to tax sale.
Yeah.
And your tax sale actually bumps my mortgage. So the county can sell your property even if you have a mortgage on it. And so that's why a lot of times the mortgage company will pay them. Like if you are not escrowed, they'll pay them because they're not going to lose it for $2,000.
Right.
When you have $160,000 mortgage. But people don't realize that. And that's one of the reasons that we like your payment to be escrowed, because we don't want to lose it because you don't pay taxes.
Yeah, and I know people around that have. And then, and you don't want to have to deal with someone that bought your taxes, and then you got to pay them, you got to pay the interest on it, you got to pay the penalty fee, you got to pay their attorney, and you only got a certain time, or if you don't, they own it.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in that scenario. Don't ever ignore those notices and those letters.
Well, and that's why we do tell people, this is why, same thing kind of with homeowners insurance. We like it escrowed so it's paid, because if, God forbid, something happens and your house burns down, you're probably not going to make your mortgage payment on something that's not there.
Not like, well, that's an issue.
So these payments, these taxes and insurance, for the most part, are wrapped up into your mortgage. And have to be unless you have 20% down. Like that's kind of the threshold. It drops off your mortgage insurance, and then you have the option of maybe escrowing or not.
Well, and some people like. So there's 2 scenarios. I'm the believer. I like it. I pay it every month with my mortgage payment. I don't have to worry about it. Either one of them. Other people, they like to know. They like that control to make sure it gets paid.
It's the same. Well, and it does change every time. Your taxes and insurance, taxes and insurance change every year. And actually, I've never been escrowed because my first house, I bought at 19 with Mid-Southern. Mid-Southern doesn't escrow. Oh. Now they do because they were a portfolio bank, you had to have 20% down. They didn't escrow. And so like in my whole mortgage history of the last 16 years, I've never escrowed.
Well, this is my first time ever.
Well, you don't have a mortgage.
Well, yeah. I paid it off this year.
You don't have a mortgage.
Yeah,
but there's new territory.
Hey, I can get you a mortgage and escrow you if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh, I just spend the money and have to repay it back. No, let's don't do that.
So how long has this been going on, this escrow? Because is that like oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
As long as I know.
Really? I wondered if it was because years ago, a lot of people have not heard of this, bringing that in.
Well,
so
but
again, why is that such a? And still to this day, there's probably people saying, "I didn't know you could do that."
But you probably do still have people have the portfolio banks like Mid-Southern who just do the conventional products, and it's not. If you have a 20% equity you're not required to escrow. You don't have to. And so a lot of your portfolio, smaller banks they don't want to mess with it. But as you've gotten more of the government programs infiltrated through.
Yeah. Well, that's, like FHA. So FHA was started up by HUD back in 1934, I think it is, or two. I think it's 34. It was at the end of the Depression. And it's always been a product of that because it's a 3.5% down. USDA is 100%. So I don't know how long it's been, but it goes way, way back there. Also, Fannie Freddie come in the early 60s.
Well, and I think that's important to note real fast. Your government loans require you to escrow. So if you have an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a USDA loan, like, it's not an option. You have to.
Okay.
Because they want to make sure it gets done. Now, and some of escrows gets a little hard rap once in a while because remember, your loans get transferred around. They get sold from one servicing company to another. Errors happen. A lot of it's typed in because one software won't match to another software, so they have to put it in by hand data. Errors happen. People type and all. And I've heard of horror stories where insurance didn't get paid, taxes didn't get paid.
Oh.
It
does happen.
It gets messy when that happens, and it's a little late work to have to chase it down. So then once that happens to somebody, then they, one negative equals 100 positives, like we was talking about earlier. So it can give it a bad rap once in a while. But at the end of the day, if the lender doesn't pay your taxes and they don't pay your insurance, they're responsible for your property.
There's any fees.
So any fees, any losses.
So if they mess up, then they'll eat it.
They have to take they have to.
Even if the house burns down.
Okay.
It's that's by law. That's by law.
And on the flip side, kind of what we were talking about last week, you have to take the personal responsibility. If you get a delinquent notice in the mail, don't think, oh, I'm escrowed and thrown away. Pick up the phone and call your lender and say, hey, I have a delinquent notice on my taxes.
Right.
What happened?
Yeah.
Because it does. I mean, it happens. Or even we've ran into, especially in this county, we do a lot of partial splits where somebody will get land from somebody, from mom or dad gave them 5 acres off of their farm, or we have partial splits, and sometimes the parcel that we close with, like, doesn't become the actual parcel once it's recorded, because the courthouse is a little behind. And so we have had people that have come in and, well, your parcel number is not what we closed with. We're paying taxes on the wrong parcel. Because we have to go by what is on the title work, and the title work can only do their best estimate
at time of closing.
So if something gets wonky in the courthouse or the recorder's office and they end up with a different parcel number, well, we're paying taxes, but it's gone to the wrong parcel. And those are things, they do happen. Be responsible. Like, I actually have I have a note Friday to follow up on a parcel split to make sure, that this is correct and we have the right information.
Right.
And we try to monitor that on our end to make sure, but we're human. It happens.
Sure.
So do take responsibility for that. If you get a notice, or if you get something that says, hey, your insurance has been canceled, call. Like, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And it can be fixed. But if you don't take care of it when it first happens, then it becomes bigger than what it needs to be.
Right. It's better than just saying, oh, that's taken care of and throw it away.
Yes.
Because there's a reason that somehow something's not adding up there.
Right.
And I'm glad to know that, because I did not know that they made mistakes. I mean, I know human error, people make mistakes, but I didn't realize on that. I don't know why I thought it was checked by, like underwear checked by Inspector 10 or whatever.
Well, it's not.
Been inspected by.
But you have to think, and what we run into, and especially refinancing people right now, it's all through, like a system, and they pull all the property taxes at once. So it's not one person going through and saying, okay, I need to pay this one, I need to pay this one, I need to pay. It's all lumped together. And when you think of, I don't know how many homeowners are in the county, that'd be an interesting figure. But you have,
I've heard before.
Let's say you have 10,000 parcels of property taxes and 8,000 of those are escrowed. That's a lot of taxes to be paid.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So things do happen.
Sure.
we've had, sometimes the treasurer's office will type in a wrong number and it it happens. That's life.
Yeah. Well, it's just good reminders of that.
Yeah.
That they are human and things do happen. And just, again, I think we're going to do a takeaway again on this, being responsible for your own, you know what I mean?
And also knowing that there's nothing that can be messed up that can't be fixed.
Oh, I love that.
If it gets messed up, a couple phone calls, sometimes I walk over in person because it's easier. It's fixed. Like, I have never had anybody at the recorder's office or the treasurer's office or, the auditor's office be like, oh, sorry, can't help you.
Right.
No, they bend over backwards to help us.
They do a wonderful job. Yeah.
So
shout out to them.
Shout out to them, because sometimes they don't get the love, especially when they're collecting all the tax money. As a note, they're not making that money themselves. So please don't yell at the people in the treasurer's office. Exactly. It's not going in their pockets.
No.
But they go above and beyond to help. So if you have a question, pick up the phone and call them. They are so helpful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
And definitely, and they will gladly answer, and they're very good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, because they're going to be very busy coming up.
They are.
Yeah, and so when we talk about taxes, also remember there's exemptions allowed in the state of Indiana.
That's good, Dennis.
So you got the homestead.
That's good. That's good. Let's bring this up. Let's talk this up.
With the homestead, what are we talking about?
So the state of Indiana says that on your primary residence, you can have a discount on it.
And Indiana is one of the only, there's only 4 or 5 states.
Yeah.
And Indiana is one of them. So this is a huge.
You get 3 of them. You get the homestead. There's also a homestead supplement now, and you get a mortgage exemption. So you should always keep a mortgage of some kind on it, even if it's a HELOC. It doesn't matter, just so there's something, because that's a little extra discount. But the standard rate is 3% for property taxes in the state of Indiana. You take these Homestead Act and the supplement and the mortgage, you can drop that by 2/3.
Yeah.
Or your taxes, when you're under, I don't know, I'm going to guess maybe $200,000. A $3,000 property tax bill becomes $1,000 a year. So it makes it pretty reasonable. You want to make sure you get that on there. And when you buy a piece of property or you refinance and do a refinance, you need to file those exemptions before December 31st, because the next year is going to hurt.
And that's coming up. That's coming up. So
if you bought this year or you refinanced this year, if
make
you done
sure
it
you didn't
with
lose
us,
them.
you're going to get a Christmas card from us. It's going to be a note in there. Don't forget to do this.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
That's fantastic. A lot of people, nobody does that.
Well, I'm refinancing one right now. For whatever situation, I'm not going to. But she has no exemptions on her property, and she's paying $4,500 a year in property taxes.
And it has been for a long time.
7-8 years.
Didn't even know.
No, she knew. She did know, but didn't know how. She did not know how to go and get it back on, because it's her primary residence. She's had a mortgage, but she's paying $4,500 on her property taxes. Well, we're refinancing her.
Yeah.
I emailed Debbie over at the auditor's office and said, hey, give me an estimate with standard deductions, $1,800.
And you can't go back and reclaim those.
She can't go back and say, well, for 8 years I've been paying.
Oh.
But when we refinance, she is going to go and file those. So next year her tax bill is going to go from $4,500 to approximately $18.
That's wonderful.
And it's like, that's a lot of money that you're spending just because it's just a thing of, I don't know how to go file those.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they will help you.
Right.
Yeah. And pick the phone up. Call us. We'll help you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just information. Learn how to do it. But don't get caught in those.
Yeah, but you're talking thousands of dollars of information. I mean, that's a big difference. I mean, if you go back from the years, that she has spent on this, that's a lot of money to be spending. It's a big difference.
Which I'm sure are,
I
schools and things are thankful.
Here's
the other thing, because your property taxes, I do want to kind of throw this out as well. Your property taxes do go to fund things in our community. So, it's not like you're just throwing money away. You are funding things in the community. So I do feel like to a degree there is a place for them. They do have a benefit. They do have a purpose. But at the same time, we say as a state, you have these exemptions. Please take advantage of those.
Absolutely.
Because if you're, take advantage of those things.
Well, I'm all for, and I want people to know if they can save money, if there's ways to do that, you know. And I mean, you have to, we always talk about, this is my big saying, you have to look at what you do have and see what you don't have. So, yes, she has 8 years or whatever, you know, I mean, she's done that, but now she's on the right road, around the right path.
Now let's get that lowered so you can do other things.
But I'm wondering how many other people need to be doing this too, you know what I'm saying? And this is good information this morning to, again, check to make sure and see, you know,
what exemptions apply to you. Because there is 3, the state gives out a sheet of all exemptions that are possible, and it's like 3 or 4 pages long.
Oh, wow.
So there are many exemptions. Over 65 is one. A disabled vet is one. Heritage barn. If you have a heritage barn on your property.
Wait, hold on, I gotta know what the heritage.
I have no idea. I don't know, but if you have one, then you get a
go on a heritage barn.
Heritage barn. If you are a veteran with a disability, if you are over 65, if you are, I don't know that we have any more, but there is somewhere because it's still on there. But a spouse of a World War I veteran, or a World War I veteran is one. There might be something on there for a World War II. I'm not sure.
Well, there's one for a regular veteran too.
So there are a lot of exemptions that you may be eligible for, but we know if you're going to close a loan with us, I know if you're living there, you're going to get a homestead supplemental, and a mortgage. Those are the 3 that I know across the board. Make sure you have those.
Right.
And then if we're doing a VA loan for a vet, then we remind them of the others.
Yeah.
You know, there's a deduction for being blind.
That is one.
That's another one. So, I mean, and some of them, like the over 65, there's an income cap for you to get that. If you make over X amount, then you don't get it. So there's some caveats to all this stuff, but these are your rights, you know, and take advantage of them. Don't let, you know.
Yeah. Well, if they're there, you know what I mean, and they've been made for a reason.
Well, and it's not, so on the flip side of that, you do have, you know, like if you have an investment property, then you can't have any exemptions. Like that's an income producing thing. So you don't get a homestead, you don't get a mortgage, so don't think, I have a mortgage on 7 investment properties, I'm going to go throw a mortgage exemption on there. Well, you can't do that.
Right.
Primary residence.
And that's the other thing for a homestead. If you have a homestead exemption anywhere else in the state, you can't get like they record all of that. So you can't go put homestead exemptions on 4 homes in 8 different, 4 different counties.
And another thing to just even add on to that one. So, we're a real community. We all have a lot of acreages. Most well, I should.
Oh, absolutely.
I need to be careful. I say, but if you got a farm or you got 20 acres or whatever, those exemptions are only on the first acre with the house that's on.
Yes.
It's not for the whole farm.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's only for 1 acre the house sits on. The rest of it's taxed. Well, you got to be careful because if it's agricultural, then there's an agricultural tax.
Yeah.
And you get a discount there over being investment property tax. So there is some other caveats, some other things, and you just need. And I learned this years ago when we first come down here. My taxes jumped up, and I had 10 acres. I'm trucking down. What's going on? The auditor, he says, well, we got you marked as investment. I go, investment? I got hay and horses on it. Oh, well, you're agricultural. Then let's just change it. And it cut my taxes on the other ground. I don't remember, 1/3 or 50%. So. Look at your tax bills, and if you got acreage, then look how it's listed. Is it farm agricultural ground, or is it listed for industrial? Well, it makes a difference.
And that's why I know the assessor's office every couple of years does send out something that says, "Hey, please update your information."
It's every year.
Yeah.
It's every
Is
year.
it every year? Okay, well, Greg does that for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not just because they're trying to be nosy on your thing. It's so they can have updated information so that you can properly be taxed. And I think I had talked to him at one point in time, and I think they get like maybe 25% of those back. And they can't come to your house and knock and go in,
Right.
So they have to do the best they can with what they can see if you're not going to tell them. Like I had the time, we're remodeling we've been remodeling our basement for 10 years, but
I love
that's
that.
besides the point. But I had to go in and tell them, hey, no, I don't have an extra bathroom in my basement. As a matter of fact, you can see from one end to the other. Well, that changed my taxes because you get taxed, I guess, by how many water things you have. So like your sink, your toilet, your whatever. So that changed my taxes because it's like, okay, no, I don't have 4 bathrooms. I only have 2. Well, he doesn't know because the last update he had said there were multiple bathrooms. So if you don't take responsibility for seeing what you're being taxed on,
right.
And again, I've never had Greg be like, well, I don't care. You know?
No, he's very,
we just bought an investment property and I got a phone call. You bought this lower than what it assessed for. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because all the windows are broken and it's been vandalized. Like, let me come show you pictures. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's not assess you for $60,000 when it's not worth it.
Right.
So that's important. Read your tax bill. They give you detailed tax bills. And they will reprint them. If you've lost them, go ask them to reprint it.
I think that's so good information because, and so you would go, for anybody listening, you go to the assessor's office. I think a lot of people get confused on what office to go to.
I still get confused.
I mean, it gets confusing, who can help me or where do I get this information? And I do know, and just like you said, is that if you go and you talk to him, and even if it is right, then you have that peace of mind. Okay, but if you feel like something's maybe a little bit or information that you need to share with the class, then you can do that. And he listens. He's very good about that.
They're great. So the assessor is the one who assesses it. Then it goes to the auditor's office. And the auditor is the one. So when you go to file your exemptions, that gets done at the auditor's office.
But you start with it
depends what you need. But Greg is the one who is the assessor's office assesses.
Assessor.
But if you are filing exemptions, you don't go to the assessor. He doesn't care. Okay. He's just assessing your property.
He's going to send you the door across the hall.
He's going to send you to the auditor's office. Okay. And I always talk to Debbie or Malia up there. I don't actually know who our auditor is. My bad. Anyway, so they will explain that to you.
Is it Kyra?
It might be Kyra Stevenson. Yeah, because Terry's our recorder now. Yeah. So yes, Kyra, I believe. But they're the ones who will put on the exemptions. And Debbie is really great at explaining, these things to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the assessor and the auditor, they don't determine your tax bills, so don't yell at them for how much your tax bill is. That's our treasurer. Treasurer's office is where you go pay those taxes. They're the ones who, look at the state tax rate. So it's not our treasurer who says, oh, I'm going to charge you $1,500. They have something that comes out from the state.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that you would talk to about the financial side of that. So you have all of these parts that work together intricately, but they're 3 separate things.
Yeah, and they're all in the same area there.
Oh, they're all right there.
If you go to the assessor's office, he can refer you to the auditor's office, and the auditor's office can refer you to the treasurer. Or if you start with the treasurer,
they'll say, we don't know what to tell you. Go talk to Greg.
Or to the accessory. Yeah.
Rob's really good at that. I don't know, but go talk to so-and-so.
Well, I think it's good, and I think that's something that, is, for, let's say an hour of your day, it can really pay off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if the taxes are already due, there's nothing they can do this time.
Right.
But it can be done possibly next time.
Well, you know what? We say that, but if I have seen tax bills get adjusted in the year. So usually, right. And this is why I say keep your receipts, because if you file your homestead and your mortgage exemption, they give you a receipt. And if it gets missed on the treasurer's side, and again, human error, computer glitches, but you take those receipts and you say, no, look, this is where I filed it. They will adjust your bill because you have the proof. So keep your proof and they will adjust it.
Again, we can't say enough about
be responsible.
Yeah. Whether you have that envelope or that box at home that you put everything in, this is good information to keep.
Because we tell people all the time, you're going to be really happy when when things stay low.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not going to be happy with me if something jumps.
No.
So I give you at least 3 reminders from the time you close your loan to the time that the year ends to file your exemptions. Now, your sales disclosure, the title company generally
Yes.
will file that for you. You fill out that sales disclosure. They record it. When it gets recorded, actually the recorder's office records it, but then that does put on your homestead typically. They cannot do your mortgage. I don't think Washington County.
I don't think they can do the supplemental either.
Yeah, it does. They do the homestead and the homestead supplemental. Yeah, that does both.
And that just happened here in the last few years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the title companies don't have to do that, but they're starting to do.
They're doing it for you.
What they can.
And the ones that e-file now, they will do your mortgage exemption for you. I don't think Washington County allows e-filing yet, but some of the other counties do. And I've seen where the title companies say, "Oh no, we do that for you."
Well, we know you guys are into business, but like some of these, like when you're, saying some of this stuff, not everybody, understands it all. It's very confusing.
Yeah,
it can be very confusing because even you guys, the professionals, things change and try to keep up with everything. We talk about that all the time. So, but for the actual person, wanting to buy the home and wanting to make sure that they're, an hour a day to just go, or taking 1 hour out of the season, you would need a day, or just to go up there and try to figure it out. It could really save you a lot of thousands of dollars. Yeah.
Oh, I had one customer one time, and he's a friend of mine too. We had we'd done the Christmas thing and sent the notices out, and this was like December 30th, or December 31st.
Please don't call me December 31st.
But it was like Friday of the last week of December, and he calls me and he goes, "Dennis, what did you tell me and remind me that I was supposed to do before the end of the year?" I said, "Well, here's what I'm telling you right now. Clock out of work, drive straight to the courthouse, and go file your exemptions if you haven't done it." "Well, I'm off today." "Well, go do it."
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, because if you try it January 2nd, because they're closed January 1st.
It's too late. Because this is on a Friday. And like,
you can't do it.
And I think they close early today, too.
And you got to have a cutoff. Like, that's the deal.
Well,
They've got to have a cutoff.
Absolutely. And you can't, those are, you've been told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for anybody saying,
And we'll tell you at least, like Autumn says, at least 3 times. Because you'll get it during the application.
Yeah.
You'll get it at the closing table. We'll send you a notice. So, I mean.
We get your first payment coupon. Every time I forward it, I say, now's a good time to go file your exemptions. Every time. Now, and something else people don't realize usually about.
So when you're telling them to go file, let's do this real quick. If you're telling them to go file their exemptions, where are they going?
Auditor.
Okay.
Auditor's office.
Go in the
who's on first? What's on second?
Okay,
so you're going to the. Okay.
Going to the courthouse from the north side.
Okay.
On our side of the courthouse.
Yeah.
And when you walk up them stairs,
Turn left.
The auditor's on the left.
The assessor's
on
the
right. You walk the other end of the hallway. Treasurer's on the left. Recorder's on the right.
Yeah.
Surveyor's in the basement.
There you go.
No, I don't know what's up. Oh, yes, the tourism board is upstairs now of the courthouse.
Oh, really?
The chamber and the tourism board.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
That
was one of those memos I missed.
Yeah.
With many more.
So something else people don't realize about property taxes: the state of Indiana is a year behind. Somebody who maybe is over 65 or is disabled and your property taxes are really low, and then next year you lose those and then your taxes go up because you only have a homestead and a mortgage, people don't understand why. Well, it's because in Indiana, the taxes that you're going to pay November 10th are actually for July 1st to December 31st of 2020. They are a year behind. So that's important for people to know. And that is why sometimes we'll have people come in, and if their property taxes are really low, I will say, hey, I'm calling Debbie because I'm going to get an accurate estimate so that you don't have a shortage next year. Because I know right now your taxes are showing $30 for a half because you pay them twice a year. You're showing $30 due November 10th. But you have these 2 exemptions you're going to lose next year. Your taxes are probably going to jump to $400 or $500. That's going to be a huge payment shock to you. So let's go ahead and estimate so that you're not in a pickle next May.
Right.
And that's hard to wrap your head around.
So, okay, so that would be like, so they would go ahead and pay a little extra instead of 30 so that they'd be ready for the next year. So it's such a hard blow.
And the overpayment they make during that partial year, they'll get it back.
They'll get it back
next year.
because we can't.
But it's worth. That's
no, they
easier.
don't. They do really good about that.
Yeah. Well, legally they can't. they can't.
Well, see,
I was just thinking, you're just really nice. You're doing a really good job.
But that's easy. You know, their payment doesn't jump. They don't get that shock.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and I've done it. You know, when I first got into business. So, I set them up, and their payment's $400 a month, and then taxes adjust, and it goes to $500. Then you get the phone call, and somebody's mad and yelling at you, and it's like. Yeah.
That's why
it's easier to just
And if you've never bought a home before, you don't understand. Well, no, that this is what's due. Why is it for last year? Well, because you're behind.
Yeah, and there's like 6 or 7 states in the U.S. that are set up the same way. Not every state's the same. Some states you make 2 payments a year, but you make that year's tax bill, and it's split up. In some states like Kentucky, it's due the end of the year.
Yeah, it's once
for the whole year. So, depending on what state you're in, it's different.
And here's the other thing, because we're both licensed in Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't only have county taxes; they also have city taxes.
Oh yeah.
So they have, so every state is a little bit different. We just happen to be behind.
City and hang on. Okay, I'm going to put a bookmarker right there. Just a second. Okay, I want to say that we are going to be giving away some Colts tickets at the end of the program for anybody that calls in and answers the question. And it's for tonight's game. They play the Jets, and it should be fun, okay, to go to. So just want to remind everybody about that. Okay, but going city and county, because we do have Kentucky listeners. So is that something that, so even though you live in the county, you still pay city? Or is that you city and then, or how?
Well, everybody has a city that you live in. So like we would have,
so they pay too.
So if we were in the state of Kentucky, then we would have a Salem city tax or a Pekin city tax or a Campbellsburg city tax.
Okay.
And then we would also have a Washington County tax.
Oh, wow. So they're double.
So,
yes.
So they, so each one is different.
No wonder they could afford to give out the COVID boxes.
Well, yeah.
Everybody that had COVID, they got a box.
Yes. Actually, I have some friends that live in Kentucky, and they were.
Yeah, they got really.
They got like socks and soup and
really.
Yeah. Care package.
It was kind. She's like, this is kind of nice. I mean, COVID sucks, but this is nice.
Yeah. Well, you have to find any positive
you can, and so that's kind of nice. But so you have city and county taxes.
Oh, wow. Well, see, there we go.
We don't have it bad.
Absolutely.
In Indiana, I believe, is one of the lower tax states.
I've heard that.
It is.
We really don't have bad taxes.
And southern Indiana here is one of the lowest parts of the state.
Oh yeah,
we love it.
You jump out of Washington County, and we see a big difference in tax.
We do, yeah.
Scott's a blessing.
Scott's not bad, but you start getting down into Clark and Floyd, it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And so that's people again. People need to realize what we do have.
Yeah.
And it stinks. I mean, I don't like shelling out money.
Well, especially we're in November and there's not one of us or I know a household that's not thinking about coming up holidays.
Right. That's the other thing.
Christmas. I mean, and then you try to keep that, that money tight, because you've got things coming up.
Right. It'd be nice if they were just all doing May.
Yeah.
But then I think my car tags are also doing May. So, I really hate the month of May because you have graduations and property taxes, and I have to renew all my plates. And so May's kind of hard for me. But yes, you're right. When you do it November 10th, then you have Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've got all that to, that we're all thinking about. And then,
which is where escrowing is very nice.
Yes. If you put it all in there, then it's, yes. Exactly. It's not that big bite all at once.
Yes.
And it's easier the better you budget. So that's a whole show in itself, budgeting.
Well, I'm going to throw a caveat in here as well. The treasurer's office is opened daily from 8 to 4. Mm-hmm. So if you are not escrowed, and let's say November is a pain in the rear for you, you can kind of do that yourself. You can kind of say, okay, I have the $600 tax bill. I'm going to go make $100 payment a month. They are, they're not just open in May and November.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if it's easier for you to pay them quarterly, if it's easier for you to pay them monthly,
they will take it and they'll take care of it.
And they will,
and they encourage that because they know that it can get. I mean, $600 in November is something nobody wants to do.
Right? Yeah, and so they're open. Go pay them. They'll take your money.
Well, you make payments. Make little by little. Again, it's not all at once. So much all at once.
Right.
That's one thing I love about a small community and a small county. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody helps everybody, and you can go in and at least like in this county, when you go in there, once you get to know them, you can talk to the same people. They know you, and it's easy to deal with. You go to the big counties, and you got somebody different all the time, and it's just kind of really cut, dry, black and white. Here's your bill, pay me, blah, blah, blah.
They're not going to ask after your mom and your dog.
No, and most of them, like we see at functions, we see at the grocery store, we see we saw
Becky at Walmart last night.
Yeah.
What was I buying, Becky?
Brussels sprouts. Yeah, she's gonna make a big Brussels sprout dish.
I'm excited.
Looks delicious.
I'm so excited.
It looks delicious. No,
I walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk.
I know.
When I say I like the Brussels sprouts,
I know.
Yeah,
I think Becky was surprised.
Yeah, I was really. Yeah, I was.
She's like, you have Brussels sprouts.
I know. No,
I told you I like them.
What's hilarious is we talk about that all the time. Looking at other people's cart. What are they buying?
Yeah.
And here I am looking. I'm like, oh my God, you got Brussels sprouts. And I'm like, you're gonna do. And then of course we wanted to know what you're gonna do with them. And they look. Yeah, they look good.
I showed her my Pinterest recipe.
Yeah,
it's Brussels sprouts and bacon and feta cheese and pecans and pomegranate seeds. Which, by the way, I thought I was gonna have to buy a pomegranate and seed it myself, which is a pain if you've never done it.
I've done it. Been there, done that.
Walmart now has. I probably always have. But they have pomegranate seeds already done. It's more. It was like $6 versus $2, but the time it saves me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing this weekend. I might even, after talking to Angel, I might even grill chicken and just make that a main meal.
Well, you're talking about whether that was like a. That's impressive. Very bottom is with it.
See it.
Right now, yeah. Okay, very good. So because when you start, Autumn, Angel,
Amanda, Amber, Ashley.
Yeah,
I get called it all.
So, it looked delicious, and that was the thing, is how you were going to present it.
Yeah, she said, "Is this going to be a main meal?" I'm like, "No, that's a salad."
But if you do put grilled chicken with it, and it could be.
Yeah.
We have salads a lot of times for supper.
Yeah,
nice and big suppers.
I like that. But my kids don't love, they do love chef salad. Like, we will eat chef salad. But my kids don't love Brussels sprouts.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's I tell them, you have to have a green vegetable. These are the ones you can choose. Mm-hmm. So, like, my plan got changed. We made ham. We had Easter dinner Wednesday.
Oh, I love that.
No, yesterday was Wednesday. Tuesday. So, we had ham and macaroni and cheese, and I had asparagus, which that always reminds me of Easter. Asparagus is always an Easter. But it was like, you can have peas, green beans, asparagus, or broccoli. Which one? Because you're going to eat a vegetable.
Yes, it's going to happen.
So,
I was one of those that, had my girls eat their vegetables.
Yeah.
So I had one daughter, and I guess she wouldn't mind if I say her name, but she would hold her nose and put any green beans, okay?
Oh,
but now, as an adult, she loves green beans.
I used to tell people I was allergic to green beans. Like, if I would go to a friend's house, I'd be like, I can't have green beans, I'm allergic. And now I love them.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me the bacon and the onion and the garlic.
Just keep presenting them.
Yeah.
Just keep, just over time.
Yeah. And we do.
Yeah. So it will click. It will click, but it just takes a while.
And bacon. The Brussels sprout salad has bacon.
Oh, it has bacon in it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. We
You
love
put bacon in anything.
I told you they took a fig up in Indianapolis. They took a fig and wrapped it in bacon, and it was
in California. They put figs and bacon and feta cheese on pizza.
I'm just like, we're in California.
Yeah,
I've never been, so that's maybe on my pizza list. I love good pizza. I will travel for pizza. Yeah. Well, no, it's good ideas, but anyway, but also that would be also good food prep too. You could use those. I mean, you could use that for like the next day too. I'm sure those Brussels sprouts will keep. But anyway, but it is something. But again, seeing everybody in your hometown and knowing, and that's why you and Dennis are so transparent because of that. I mean, you shop here, you eat here, you work here.
Yeah.
You can't lie.
Yeah, we're going to find you, Autumn. We're going to find you, Dennis. So therefore, it's good information. And this is information that I feel is so helpful. And I have so many calls during the day here at the station, just like, I need to do this. what office do I go to? Where do I go to? And then like we have on, like the commissioners will bring in the different people, the different, different offices. And I don't think people realize what each office does.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like when there's a candidate running for something, do they know? I mean, the candidates know, but do the community know what all entails in that office?
Right. And I think that's important because we've been doing this a while and I still get confused on who does what.
Yeah. And knowing what office, and a lot of times that intimidates people. I don't have any problem with asking. If I go in there, if I'm confused on something and you need to go over here, you need to go over there. But sometimes people are not comfortable doing that.
And because it makes you feel stupid.
Well,
and nobody likes that.
Yeah, it makes you feel, but that's okay. It's all right because I don't want to be the master and know all this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that I want. I want to know, and I want to know my own stuff.
Right.
But I don't want to. This is not something that I really want to put a lot of concentration on. I mean, because everyone does their own job and they do a good job. Doing that. So let the professionals.
That's
work.
that's their niche.
It's their beat, and let them do their beat. You know what I mean? And they do a great job. So hats off to them. And a lot of them listen on Coffee Club this morning. So
I'm going to get phone calls.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You were talking about me. Dropping my name.
One of the most exciting times is I used the restroom at the courthouse, and there's the radio blasting WSLM. I was like, yes! We made it in the restroom. So that's exciting. Yay!
We're moving up.
I'll take it whatever we can get. Yeah, that's exactly
Moving
right.
up downtown.
Absolutely. So anyway, so they do listen, and they are wonderful. But it is something but not everybody, and you have to respect everybody's different. And that's why God made us all different.
Yeah.
And some people are not as comfortable going in somewhere and not knowing exactly where they're going. And and that's.
And if that's the case, come see us. I've walked to the courthouse with people many of times.
Oh, yeah.
It is intimidating.
It is.
Let's go. I'll take you where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
It literally takes 5 minutes. Like, I mean, you're not there long if you're following your exemptions. Come on, let's go walk.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a big help too, and that makes people feel good.
Yeah.
That's why I think, especially like let's go first time homeowners. Let's go maybe and even whatever the age, maybe younger, whatever, and they don't know all this, And this is something that can be very like intimidating, and that's wonderful that Dennis and Autumn, you guys do this and help, and will tiptoe through the tulips with us.
Yeah. We've seen
It's my
people,
favorite flower.
own houses 20 years and still don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just everybody.
We only know what you know.
Exactly. And that's okay.
And that's what I tell people. You only know what you know, and you can't help what you don't know. That's why we learn. Never stop learning.
Dr. Seuss says, never stop learning. Yeah, I agree with that.
Autumn Hall says that too.
There you go. Right up there with Dr. Seuss.
Right.
I do want to say, though, we're getting close where we need to give away those tickets. 812, let me make sure the line's open. 812-883-3401. That's 812-883-3401. I think the question today is, if you were going to, if you felt like your taxes were not exactly the way they should be, and you have a question, what would be the first office that you should go to?
That's a good question.
Is that a good
That's a
question?
good
Yeah, I'll try
question.
not to answer that.
Okay, 812-883-3401. If you've been listening, you should be able to win those Colts tickets for tonight's game, and those are wonderful. You can even make it an early gift for someone,
Yeah.
812-883-3401, and free Colts tickets, you can't beat that. And even if you stay for like the first half, if you feel like you've got a big long drive, still get to go and have fun and bring the noise.
One day I'm going to go
All right.
to the Colts game.
812-883-3401. Well, actually, Autumn, if you want to, if we don't give these away, we'll send you. You can take some selfies up there. Yes, look at me. Dennis, you might not be in the morning.
Maybe I'll take Dennis with me.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
You'll have to be a designated driver for me back.
Yeah, probably.
I'll
There we
never
go.
make it alive.
There
I
you
know
go.
stay away.
Yeah, 812-883-3401, and all you have to do is answer that question and call in, and we could give you some Colts tickets to you, and head on up to Indianapolis tonight for the Jets. They're going to be playing the Jets.
The Jets.
And you don't get very many Thursday night games for sure, so that's kind of different.
So that would be fun.
It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
And actually, I'll probably never forget your number because my grandmother, as we're waiting, my grandmother has had the same number my whole life, and it's 967-3401.
Ah.
So
Does she? I bet she's gotten swap shop calls before.
I wonder.
You know what I mean? Because that's our swap shop number too.
I should ask her
341
that.
812-833-341.
Her birthday was yesterday.
Well, happy birthday. Happy belated.
Oh.
We're the show that takes the other show's lunch money. Rick's and Bubba. 6 minutes past the hour of the Rick and Bubba show. Thank you for being with us. Speedy, the real Greg Burgess, Helmke, Eddie Van Amber, all here for another hour. All right, so welcome back. Here's Bill Bubba Bussy.
Rick, glad to be here. Thank all of you for allowing us the opportunity.
Bubba, I hate to be the one to bring this news up to you. It just breaks my heart to be able to do it. I mean, this is right up there when you go see a launch and you won't launch.
No,
Abba, I know you were excited.
I thought you'd play me a little theme music.
No, I just think I'll make this news even sadder. I mean, if you hear the hits, and then I have to pull the rug out from under you.
Well,
it's.
let me hear a little take a chance.
All right.
Take it.
All right, let me find it. You know how much I love Abba.
Now, is this the virtual concert?
Well,
we're talking about?
it was going to be. It's
Because they were planning a virtual concert, right?
Right,
Where
yeah.
not
that
anymore.
was promoting.
Not
they,
anymore.
like with avatars or something?
Not anymore. Not anymore, Bo. ABBA is delaying the promotion of their concert special after the deaths of 2 fans at a tribute concert Tuesday in Sweden.
Now, what did they do? How did they get killed?
There's about 1,000 fans that came to some hall near Stockholm for a show called Thank You for the Music. The concert was to honor the work of ABBA and the members. And about 30 minutes before the show, a man who police say was in his 80s fell 7 stories and died after landing on 2 people at the border.
How many stories?
7.
7. Yeah.
It's a big haul, isn't it?
Boy,
How about
And so this is somebody trying to get out and see ABBA, like you, 80 years old, and fell on a guy in his 60s and killed him.
he realizes it's not really ABBA on stage, right? This is the virtual tour, isn't it?
This is different. This is a tribute concert for ABBA. I don't even know who was
What does
playing.
that even mean?
I don't even know who was playing.
Does that mean a fake ABBA?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to.
The hologram show on May 27th is
Now it's been
the
delayed.
ABBA arena that you're talking about. That's going to be that weird hologram.
If you change your mind
Take a chance.
on the first in line,
Take a chance.
honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me,
It's your favorite.
let me know.
They're all pretty good. I like several of them.
You always ask for this one, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Just say it's your best.
It's
Your
funny.
favorite one, brother.
the way it starts is always good for comedy value.
I just sprayed them for you.
You're on deep cuts.
I think Mama Mia's a deep cut.
Let's take a chance on top of this. Take a chance.
Yeah, now you're ready. Hey, now he's ready.
Hey, Greg, be skating with this.
Now, let me ask you
Well,
this.
you know, turn out a singing great.
This didn't really pertain to this particular story, but you're saying they're having one of them virtual avatars.
Yeah,
Are they not all still alive?
We did the
I don't
story
feel
on
like it's-
we did the story
But
on
they're
it
not
about 6
dead.
months ago when they were
They're
going to do this.
The Ronnie James Dio's been doing this ever since he died.
Which is weird.
See, he's dead.
Well,
The band's live.
I think
he's
they're,
not. How
I think
about
they're
that?
just so old.
Oh my goodness, they never stopped anybody. You see Phil Collins, they rode him out there and
Well,
propped him
all right.
up with a
All right,
cane or something.
all right, let me see if I can help everybody. Everybody ready?
I mean, they're
Yep.
still alive. What's
All right.
the deal?
Tribute concert canceled because 80-year-old man falls to his death on top of a 60-year-old man.
Tribute means it's like a tribute band doing
Correct,
it.
Right. Somebody that's imitating this?
Yes.
Canceled.
Right.
Well, that'll cancel.
Wednesday night, ABBA tweeted, and this is important, Bubba. This is what you need to hear because now we're hearing from ABBA, the real ABBA,
Okay.
like the real
They're
Rudy.
still alive.
like the real Rudy. In light of the tragic news at the tribute concert in Sweden last night, we've decided to hold off on releasing our concert trailer until tomorrow. That wasn't a very long delay.
Well, that's what
But the quartet has been preparing, listen, a comeback with the release Friday, tomorrow, or as Bubba calls it today, of their ninth and final studio album, Voyage. Bubba, you got a studio album.
Nobody wants to hear anything new from
The album, Bubba does. The album marks the first new material in 40 years. 40 years.
And they're going to be avatars.
Now, Greg, here it comes. Now, this is the part you need. If ever, I think we're laying it out now.
Yeah.
The concert trailer is to promote a hologram show.
Yeah.
On May 27th.
But they're still alive.
At the ABBA Arena. Now, this may disappoint you, Bubba.
Do they have their own arena?
Did you know the ABBA Arena only seats 3,000?
Is that where the old guy fell?
I think so.
You think he was trying to crowd surf, Miss Judge?
No, it's not where he fell.
No, he probably just fell off a
He
rail
fell
or
in.
something.
He fell in Sweden. This is going to take place in London.
There's too much going
Queen
on.
Elizabeth.
We got holograms.
I know.
They're not dead. There can't be a hologram if you're not dead.
Greg, are you ready? The concert will feature digital versions of ABBA, created after months of motion capture and performance techniques with the 4 band members.
So we're going to have a
I
video
remember-
game
Have you
scene.
seen?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Well, I mean,
There's their little uniforms.
We
they
saw
wear.
they're
video.
old, I get it.
We saw video of them with all the camera sensors
yeah,
on them,
but
and they were doing a show. I guess, and now they're just going to rerun it over and over, right? They have their own theater.
Yeah.
It's called the ABBA Theater.
Correct. 3,000 seat over at Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park.
Well, if
And
you
at
can,
some point, 85-year-old man fell on.
you don't,
80.
you don't
got it at
need
85.
Rick, you don't need that many seats if you're just going to run a show over and over.
No, you don't.
What are you talking about?